Welcome back to the MakerGear M2 build series. In this part, we'll assemble all the parts that we just made on the previous video onto the actual M2 frame, and then in the next part we will put together all the wiring, and then we'll be ready to do all the software. So now we are going to put the idler block assembly and an M6 nylon nut onto the Z stage assembly. And then this part is already threaded. After we screw it on securely, let's put the M6 nylon lock underneath it just to make sure it doesn't move. Alright, now we are going to flip the machine around so I can have better access to the other side of the Z stage. And here we are going to take the Y motor and install it on this side with 4 M3x14 socket caps and with a washer, and not tightening it down because we will tighten up the belt this way with the motor. Now we are going to attach the completed spider onto the Z-axis with 4 M3x8 low head socket caps, and attached to those we'll put a lock washer. These are the 4 spots where the 4 M3x8 low head socket caps are being attached to the spider. Now we have the attached spider, and to attach this belt, do not attach it to the idler bolt subassembly on the back first, because then you won't be able to get the belt on the motor, as you can see here, without stretching the belt. But first attach it to the motor, and then the back just pops right on without having to stretch it at all. Now we can move the motor back and tighten the belt as necessary, so there's no slack. Now I'm going to attach the other idler block to the X-axis, and all we will do for that is thread it onto this hole and then add a washer and an M6 nylock to the bottom of it. Okay, now we are going to attach the X end stop. So this includes M3 nylock, an M3x20 socket cap, and the 3/8 nylon spacer. So we'll just put the socket cap in the spacer, put it in the farthest hole here, and then put the nylock underneath and secure it. Okay, next we are going to attach the X rail to the top plate here, and first we'll be putting the 2 brass alignment pins in the second to last holes on the X rail, and then at the very end by our X end stop we'll be placing 1 M3x14 socket cap screw, and then the rest of the holes will have the M3x16 socket cap screws, and then we'll attach nylocks nuts underneath to tighten it to the frame. going to attach the X motor mount to the top plate here. Now for the X motor, we want the wiring to be facing the back of the machine, and we're going to attach it with 3 M3x12 socket caps here, and then on the other corner we'll have 1 M3x8 socket cap in the recessed hole. All will be using a washer. Remember to keep these bolts loose so that we can tighten the belt around it to keep the belt taut. Okay, next we are going to attach the extruder mounting plate subassembly to the extruder mounting plate and to the X-rail. So first we'll have the extruder mount that's 3D printed and attach it to a previously made mounting plate. This will be installed upside down here on the X-rail with the 3D printed extruder motor mount on top of that. Now to attach it to the X-rail, we will have 4 M3x12 socket caps attached in these 4 places. The back 2 that have the bigger holes will not have the washers, but the front 2 will. Okay, then now we're going to attach the belt to the idler mount bolt, and then through the X motor mount, oops, the other way around, around the motor, then around the idler block, so we don't stretch the belt. The belt goes in here. Okay, and then we will tighten the motor and tighten the bolts. Okay, next we're going to attach the extruder motor, the gear drive, in the 3D printed extruder motor mount, making sure that the pins are facing up. Now we're going to take 2 M4x35 socket caps with 2 M4 washers and 2 M4 nuts. I'll take the 2 socket caps with a washer, and they'll both go on this side of the 3D printed part, and then attach it on the other side with the M4 nut. Okay, next we are going to attach the electronics case subassembly to the frame. We'll be doing this with 3 M4x16 black socket caps attached to a black washer. Then it will go through the frame here. There's the 3 holes here. And then we'll have 2 washers attached to the screw, the bolt. And then it will attach to the side of the electronics case, where we will attach the Nylock M4 to it to secure it to the case. So we will have to take off the top plate. Okay, now for our final part of this video, we are going to attach the printed spool holder to the side of the machine with 4 M4x8 black socket cap screws. Okay, so the frame is already threaded, so we just have to tighten these screws right onto the frame. Here we have the M2 frame assembly. Thanks for watching.